All right, Jesus Christ is Lord. That is true, has been true, and always will be true. And that is what we are preaching. We are letting people know who is Lord, who is the King of this kingdom, right? Who is reigning, who is in authority, who calls the shots, right? Who is the judge that will judge us. He says in Romans chapter 2 that we are inexcusable. Right? Chapter 2, verse 1, therefore you are inexcusable, O man, whatsoever you are that judgest, right? Whosoever you are that judgest. For wherein you judge another, you condemn yourself. For you that judge do the same things. So he's catching us by the tail, and he won't let go. He won't let go. He knows what we do with our mind, with our speech. He knows what we do with our reasoning. That's a good example, right? A snake and catching the snake by the tail. Because how does a snake run away? It goes this way, that way, this way, that way. And that's how we talk. That's how we talk when we try to get away from accountability, from responsibility. We're lazy, we don't do the job, but we try to talk as if we did the job. We don't do it as well up to the standard, but we try to talk and pretend and to appear as if we did. But, you know, a child is funny, right? Talking with a child, they ask very simple questions. You might have heard what I just said and just nodded, right? But a child might wonder, right? Things that we think are basic, but why? Right? The child might say, then why doesn't the man just do the job? And they'll ask questions like that, right? And it makes you think, right? Well, why, if man gets in so much trouble, if it's so complicated, why all the mess? Just keep it clean, right? Why doesn't he just do the job? Right? Why doesn't he just do it? And then he won't have to lie, and it won't be so complicated, right? That's the mind of the child that says, I don't understand, right? But the child, when he grows, right, he's gonna become that same person, right? Isn't that funny? Isn't that weird? Isn't that sad? Right? The innocency of the child, right? The childhood. I don't get it. Why don't we just do the right thing? And then because of the pressures of the world, right? That say, oh, you can't eat if you don't lie, if you don't cheat, if you don't do that. And then man becomes that. And yet, God doesn't excuse that. He knows that. He sees that. And we also see that. And we agree, right? We're the same. Like every criminal is going to say, well, I had to kill. I had to steal. Because, you know, the reason I did was even daily, in the daily situations. You're at a job, at the retail store, the clerk, the manager catches the person not, hey, there was a spill on aisle 3. You didn't clean it up. You passed by it 3 times. What's going on? You can't just pass by. You got to clean up the spill, right? What would happen? The customers, and you know the employee. Oh, sir, boss. No, it's not. It's that. I had to use the bathroom, or I had to, stock these shelves. It was busy. I had to go with my child that needs to be picked up. I didn't notice. All the things that we say, right? So the child would say, "Oh, why? Just do the job, right? Just do the job, because if we don't do the job, then it's more for me, right? If I don't have to put all my energy, all my time into doing this job that it requires, let me take that time out for myself, right? We steal, but it doesn't seem like stealing because it's not cartoonish, it's not obvious, it's not like putting something directly in your pocket. And so there's many things in life like that. Like, for example, even throughout the day, if you end up not doing the right amount of reading and worshiping and praying to God that he expects of you, that can be counted as theft, right? We don't think of it as theft. It's not obvious. We can't see it. But God charges us. He charges us with these things. Oh, you just stole. You stole my time, right? That's for me. You were supposed to give that to God. So whether it's to God, whether it's work, to managers or family or chores at the workplace, we we steal in this way by not putting forth full effort, by not doing our job, not fulfilling responsibilities. And that we have a motive, right? A counter motive. And what is that? Is it to be nice, extra kind? No, I couldn't help because I was trying to help these people too. I was trying to do an extra job. I was trying to do it extra well, boss. No, you don't hear that, right? It's because they wanted to take some more energy for themselves, rest a little longer, right? Have a little more time, right? People nowadays, it's mostly the cell phone, right? People getting caught, managers being upset, angry, frustrated. All these employees, right? They're all on their phone, right? There's a customer right in front of you, right? The customer's standing there. Are you gonna take my order? And the person doesn't even know. Oh, you're there. Hi, customer, right? And so, yeah, that's a common thing you see generationally, and that maybe it's getting more deteriorated, right? It might have been more expected, like you can't be distracted, but now that it's so common, now that even the manager is getting distracted and is addicted to the phone, right? They might excuse it more, saying, oh yeah, not that big of a deal. Even the customer is distracted. What's your order, sir? Right? And he's like, oh yeah, I got a text message, one sec. And there's a line behind him. He's replying to the text. Okay, so I'd like to have, right? And so it's all around. And so it goes more unnoticed. More things are not as noticeable. And so standards fall. And yeah, just like the progression from a child as he grows into an adult. I was thinking about that. There were things that when we're children, we might say, oh, I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to do that when I grow up. It could be things in your family that you've seen, right? Oh, that person, I'm not going to have those traits. And then we find ourselves doing that, right? Whoa, what happened? Right? Why? Why is there this inconsistency, this break? Because we didn't expect. We didn't expect for it to be so hard. We didn't expect, oh, I didn't know that there were these pressures. I didn't know that there was this peer pressure. I didn't know that there was this threat of losing money and what money means and how it's scarce and how you might have trouble paying bills and getting food on the table, paying rent, and all these pressures make you, right, yes, boss, or whatever, right? Even if you work for a company that's lying, cheating, right, illegal, oh, okay, we'll do it. Just don't fire me, because that would mean I don't have access to funds, which means I don't have access to food, which means I would die. So I guess we got to do this, right? And children see that. They don't know all that's happening, right? So they ask simple questions. Well, why don't you just do what's right? Kid, it's complicated, right? We say that. But with God, we're freed. In some ways, yeah, we can be a child again that way, with that purity, with that innocence. Well, if that's the right thing to do, why can't we just do it? Right? And why? It's because of the fears of death, the fear of rejection, the fear of man, right? So Saul, he had orders from God, and he felt the freedom because he felt the freedom to disobey, because he regarded the natural more than the spiritual. God's invisible, but he's more real. He's more real. So we see what happens with Saul. He thought, I have to address my men. They're right here. I can see them. I can feel them. I can touch them. They can touch me with the sword. So if they say we're keeping the stuff, then, right, in his mind, he knows the charge. Don't keep the stuff. Right? Keep it for yourself. Burn it up. Burn it up. Destroy everything. And that's what God said. But these guys are closer. So that's a job for us to do, that we have to make God closer than what's in front of us, than the physical, right? Than men, than the pressures, than the threatenings. Right? God has to be very close, right? In front of my eyes. That's what God says. It has to be frontlets before your eyes. My word has to be right here. Before you see anything else, it has to be the word of God that you see. Right here. You see that? Okay, now you can look. Right? You've been engaged with God. Now you can engage the world. Right? It has to be in your heart. Right here. Right? You feel that? Now you can feel things. Right? God first. Right? In reference to God. You are to make sure you're not offendable, right, to others. You are to try to appease others and try to be relatable and try to make peace, but God first, right? If God says, okay, if God disagrees and says, no, say this, but that would offend, okay, well, now you have a choice to make. And you will fail if God is not this close. You have to keep God this close. God has to be closer than anything else in the world, closer than your own body, right? How is that possible? My body's like right here. Yeah, God has to be closer than your body. But I'm the closest thing to me. I am me. He said, no, that's why we see Apostle Paul saying, no, this is how I live. Christ in me, right? Christ is the center. Christ. So we don't get to that. We don't respect that. We don't apply that. So it's always me and then Christ. Right? No, it has to be Christ. See, have the Christ mind, have the Christ identity. Right? You have to be gone. We're baptized, and then we come out, and we're still in the water. Right? What came out if you're still in the water? A new you, a new creature, someone that belongs to God. You are property of God. You belong to God. And so that's how we act, that's how we think, that's what we allow or don't allow ourselves to do, to think, to say, right? So extreme, right? To that degree. Everything? Yes. Everything. So we have to be completely, totally changed, ready to change, willing to change into the image of God, right? Because that's what Jesus said. Give this to Caesar, give this to God. Right? This. You're made in the image of God. So go to him. Send your coins, send the material to those people, those heads that are printed on the things. That's all going to turn to dust. You're not going to take any of this with you. Man doesn't take any of this with him. So why is your heart attached to it if it's all returning to dust? But you're not. So we have confusion. We love the stuff. We love the things. Not recognizing, wait, but we were already told that doesn't last forever. But you are an eternal being. So watch out. Right? Follow the law, eternal law. His word will not fail. His word will stand. Though everything else fails, it's going to be his word and you. He's going to judge you and the word. Your relationship with the word. How did you do with the word? How did you live against this law? And everything else is just a distraction. Everything else is material, right? To tempt you, to test you. Can you follow this law? The law of God, the mind of God. Can you agree with God? Can you do what God said? And you're going to say, yes, right? I'm a good person, right? That's not enough, right? Because God's not going to say, you said yes? Wow, come into heaven, right? Come to me. No, that's not enough, right? You said yes? Good. Now testing time, right? Here, let me give you some physical things, some object. Here's a person, here's a material, here's stuff, right? And then people say, ooh, things, oh, shiny, oh, cars, oh, spouse, oh, house, oh, right? Dogs, pets, oh, family, relationships, oh, right? Vacation, oh, job, oh, whatever. And they run off. So what about the whole I will do what God says thing, right? So God's going to give you a command, and then he's going to give you something physical, right? In the natural. Right? It could be a threatening, right? Oh, okay, I surrender, right? It's that, yeah. It's like a very stark example is, someone putting a gun to you saying, renounce your faith. And, some people do, some people don't. There we go, right? Division. And it could be every day, right? Every day, daily things. I gotta, right? I found this. That food, that picture just really grabs me. I'm salivating just looking at that. I want to eat that. But in order to make that, let me see the recipe. Oh, it takes 6 hours to make? Are you okay with that? Do you have time for that? Are you a man of God? Do you have responsibilities? Can you afford that? What do you do in a day? What does God require of you? Well, right, here comes the snake, right? Slithering left and right. It's not like I can't push it off to tomorrow. I could just do extra tomorrow. and I could make this food, right? Yeah, for food, right? I could make this dish. You can't pray though, because you'll be too tired, right? You're going to use up this much chunk of time. And you're going to do your secular work too, and after you get off, then you're going to cook, and then you're going to eat and go to sleep. And wait, when are you going to worship God? You got to worship every day. You got to pray. You got to read. You got to commune with Him. You got to talk to God. Yeah, but you're looking at the whatever is the object of your desires. Do you love that more than God? Right? So God's going to give you the law, and then He's going to test you. So you have to push that away. No, I do love you, God, more than this. Right? But this, put that away. No, I love God. Right? Every day is evil. Every day it comes up again. Every day Facebook says, here's an advertisement. Do you want this? We have algorithms. We have mathematics. We have an AI. We have computation, right? That can just automatically, right? They used to have, maybe people used to have to do it, all right? Send this email, right? Call him, offer this, right? But now it's automatic, right? An algorithm. Oh, he declined this. How about this? You don't want that? Okay. Yeah. Right. This. Oh, you like that? Okay. More of that. Bring more of that. He likes that. That got his attention, right? Stream that, right? Okay. You don't want it today. I know you'll want it today. No. Green eggs and ham? No. Okay. No. Don't worry. He's going to buy it. It might take 10 days. It might take a month. Just keep showing him the images. No? You declined? Sale? No? Yeah. Oh, he clicked it. He bought it. We got him. Right? So, not that you can't buy anything. Not that all advertisement is evil. But our focus, right? Our focus on God. It can be distracted. But I use that example of advertisements because just of the mentality, the strategy, right? Bombardment, right? It is an attack on the mind. They focus on the mind. They study psychology. They hire on psychological consultants, right? Because they know that that's how they get your money, right? They get to your heart. So they study that, and they're like archers. They're aiming for that. Okay, let me get to your heart. Right, so that's how they talk to you. What do you like? What do you want? Well, what are you into? Right? They'll butter you up. They'll try to get the angle because you got to come in here. You got to come buy this thing. And the successful people they'll do that. Right? Be able to get you, right? Connect with you with the motive. So the serpent approached Eve on the pretense of like casual, right? It wasn't official. Sometimes you have official war, right? Official soldiers. They approach. They present themselves. Right? Let's show each other to the face, right? They'll send letters. Let's war with each other, right? Maybe I don't know if they still do that. Yeah, I guess there's a blend, right? Because I remember reading in history how there was a shift, a transition in the strategy. How they used to do that, like more consistently. Line up. All the soldiers line up. And point your rifles at the enemy. And the enemy is going to do the same. We're all here. I see you, you see me. Right? Like a duel, right? Just you pull your gun out. And whoever dies, dies. Whoever lives, lives. So they were fighting like that. Right? On the hill, maybe, on the field. The line of soldiers, and they just shoot at each other. And whoever dies or doesn't die, let's see who wins. And then I guess after a while someone had a bright idea. What if I shoot from behind the tree? Because then I won't get shot, but you will. And so it's like, hey, that's dishonorable. That's, just be a man. But after they saw that keeps working though. I mean, so, when I read that, I kind of cringed like, oh yeah, that is kind of dishonorable. Like, that's kind of cheating, right? And we have rules of war today even, and yet people break it, right? We have things, expectations. I was thinking of that phrase too, like honor among thieves, right? And then no honor among thieves, right? Because, there's so much treachery and betrayal because, hey, we're thieves. This is our character. So, it's torment to be a thief, to be in a gang. Like, you don't know when you're going to be betrayed, when you're going to be But that's the world. That's the world. Without God, all men are liars. Right? All men are liars without God. God makes you honest. God gives you a new heart to be transparent and pure. There's no way out. You are under bondage of Satan, under his thumb, in his shackles. And so he lies to you. He deceives you, and that makes you a deceiver. Right? All that hearken to him are liars. And so, yeah, they started to dig trenches, and we're going to shoot from here. And that's how war developed, as far as from what I read. Right? Okay, now we're shooting from trenches. Now war has gotten a little more complicated. So, yeah, the serpent came to Eve in that manner. Right? He didn't announce himself, hey, let's fight. I'm against you. Right? Let's see if you overcome. No, but that was God's. That's God's seat. Right? He's sending even the because he's in control of everything. He creates everything. So even the opposition, the adversary, that's by God. There's nothing that's made that wasn't made by God. And so he's sending this opposition to test us. So he's watching, right? Even Job, we see that again, right? Oh yeah, go ahead, Satan. Let's watch. Let's see how this plays out. But God knows what he made. Right? So to Job, it might be a question. To Job's friends, there might be a question. And they're hashing it out. But God already knows the ending. Oh, no, this is going to be glorious. Right? You guys go through it. Right? God, help us. Just give us the answer, right? That's how we always feel. Just make me perfect now. Can we just skip the process? Can we just get to the end? Right? Because we're anxious. We don't know the end. But God said, no. Trust in me. No. Do you believe? I told you it's finished. I told you you're perfect. I told you. Right? The end from the beginning. And we're just like, but the process, the winding roads, the fog, right? And God says, yeah, but there's a way you can see through that. How? By my word, right? Believe in my word. I told you, right? Expected end. But I can't see. Well, what did I say? Right? You can see. Just don't use your eyes. Right? Hang on to my word. Right? Cleave to it. You don't need to know how to swim. You just need to hold on to the lifesaver. Right? The little tube, the orange tube with the 4 white stripes on it. Someone's going to throw that at you. Right? Hold on to it. I don't know how to swim. Don't worry about that. Do you have the lifesaver? Do you have the salvation? Do you have the Savior, Jesus Christ? But I don't know how to swim. Yeah, I know. You're going to think that because you're in water. And reason says, I should know how to swim so I don't drown. But God says, you have my word. I release my word to you. And my word, is it sure? Is it secure? Is it real? Does this work? But I don't know how to swim. Right? But you got a flotation device. Right? So, yeah, God is not pleased if we keep trying to learn how to swim. He's like, you have salvation. You're safe. Right? But let me practice with one arm. I got to get better at swimming. No, I got you. I'm going to pull this up. Just hold tight. Just don't let go. Focus on this. Let me practice swimming just in case, you stop throwing this out to me, right? Let me make my arm strong and then alternate. I'll hold on to the lifesaver with this arm. Now I got to practice with this. Right? As if we're going to be let go. Because you're evil, God. Because I don't know. Right? So we want to have it both ways. Let me just secure myself. Let me, I know I have to go to church this often, but what if can we have that, just cut it in half? And then let me invest a little bit in some night school, because this God thing, it might not work out. I might need some extra skills. I might need another job. I might need extra funding. I know you said he loves a cheerful giver and that, you'll press down, shaking together, running over. I know, yeah. All that. That's your word. But right, we want to do our own way, according to what we see. We trust what we see. And so God says, yeah, but you can see my word. Yeah, that's not good enough. That's not visible enough. And so we count him not worthy. We charge God. And so he charges us, right, with what we do, with how we respond. Hey, you're responding like a thief. Hey, you're acting like a thief. Yeah, but God, I can't give you all and do night school at the same time. Exactly. That's the reason why I demand this much of you, right? Because if you actually do it, And that'll show, oh, you do trust me. You do love me. And so he's testing us, brothers and sisters and strangers. He's testing. Who? He's looking throughout the earth. Where's man? Where's faith? Who loves me? No, okay, I hear you all, but no, really, right? He's going after our hearts. He's going past the performance and the words. He's looking at our hearts. He's looking at our hearts. So knowing that we have to drop like any sense of trust in what we used to trust in the world, right? Putting your best foot forward, right? Just putting on a necktie and doing your hair and just making sure you're clean shaven, and yeah, it's not getting a job, right? Because they can only see your exterior, and they're fooled by your presentation and your practice. You practiced the questions, you knew the questions they'd ask, but they can't see your heart. So we're fooled. No, this is different. We're not applying for a job. We're not applying for a job. We're being tested. The material is being tested, is being put in the fire. Right? You've never had a job application like that, a job interview like that. Say, hey, walk in the fire. Never mind. I'll look for a different job. Right? You guys kill people in your job interview? Yes. And if you survive, you're hired. Right? That's yeah. Daniel's friends, they went in. They said, yeah, we accept the terms. Yeah. No one else did. Everyone else died. No one else walked in the fire. Everyone else bowed down to Nebuchadnezzar's statue. They said, no, but we serve God and we hold on to that. And that's true. You're just saying that. That's what Nebuchadnezzar said. He said, okay, guys, I mean, those are sweet words and all. And it's good for you. Good for you. Now bow down. That's what Nebuchadnezzar said. He said, I don't care. I know you don't believe. I mean, everyone has their own fantasy. Everyone has their own preference. I know you prefer that religion. But seriously, guys, bow down. He just dismissed it. He said, no, everyone's a liar. No one really believes in God. And they showed it. They proved it. And he said, no, that's really our answer, Nebuchadnezzar. And he got angry. Right? He got really angry. He made the fire really hot, and they didn't budge. They didn't budge. They didn't run away. They didn't change their answer. They said, it's God. This is what we live on. This is what we stand on. That will never change. We'll walk in the fire. It still won't change. And they just walked out of the fire. Right? And Nebuchadnezzar's answer changed. Right? His beliefs changed. He bowed down. He fell down. He worshipped. He laid there. He bowed down. Everything falls down before God. So that's why we don't want to be against God. Right? Or else, as an enemy, we are going to fall. He's going to laugh at our calamity when it comes. Because we didn't hearken to him when he spoke. When we had the window of repentance. When his grace and mercy was extended to us. That's the time we live in now. Right? A time of mercy where God is offering his hand. But it's a window of time. It's a window of time. We don't have all the time, all the day to be distracted, to think life is about anything else. We have a short time to get things right, to understand it, to turn to God, to serve him, to give him glory. Because he has much he wants to say to us. He's calling us to come to him. He has much he wants to give us and make of us. And all those that refuse, there's a parable for that. That's for another time. But you could probably finish that on your own, right? Sometimes Jesus asked, what do you think? What do you think he did? What do you think he does? And to those that reject the invitation. Don't let me tell you. He just left it. He let them answer it. And what do you think? What do you think? That extension, that invitation, that's not just to strangers. No, that's to his own creation. That's his love. He's extending his love, his own self, his heart is being extended to you. And you're rejecting that. You're rejecting God. He's opening himself up to you and you're saying no. He's going to destroy all that. Whatever else you go to. You read Revelations and it's mentioned again in one of the prophets. Like all the things that are destroyed and up in smoke. Yeah, men are going to cry because their heart was in it. And we were wrong. We were wrong. That wasn't what life's about. That's not where the answer is. We don't want to be that wrong. But we have this life to get it right. In Jesus' name.